let's go to Richard Hart's, some of his tweeting from the last week, because I know you wanted to approach it, Ewok, because I like that he's not worrying about streaming or anything right now. And, all of these different ecosystems, like whether it's Ethereum with Vitalik, Charles Hoskinson with Cardano and stuff like that, we and anybody in Hex or PulseChain have been spoiled by what Richard has kind of provided over the last few years. He came up from doing streams like that and really educating people before launching anything. So that's all been great. But you got to remember that, like, with a lot of these, you're not seeing these people come out streaming all the time that helped create these entities or anything. So I don't see any issues with this, even though I'd like to see him. I'm not going to lie. I'd like to see him speak. But it seems like the tweets are kind of in long form that are kind of taking the place of themes that he would talk about, just not as fleshed out maybe as he would be able to in a stream. But if you have some of the ones you wanted to look at, Ewok, because I think you can actually maybe parse out like some of what he is thinking. Like he is kind of directly, indirectly kind of laying out what some of the basis of some of his arguments will be, I think with some of this stuff with the SEC. But which ones did you want to touch on? Or I have a couple bookmarked if you were trying to find them.
The biggest one was more the education. I think when I brought this up to you, it was the one where I'll just read it, because
I see it.
It's the one that says Richard Hart teaches you things no one else can or will. He said, you do not custody coins. The blockchain does. You don't send coins. You publish updates to the database. It says the coins are right where they always were, which means they don't leave the blockchain. The database gets updated with the, the wallet address that they're in. You do not have a cryptocurrency wallet. You have a keychain. Every address was created and published by individuals through their own labor. Every update was created and published by individuals through their own labor. There aren't really any coins, just numbers people have a penchant for, like characters in literature. Kind of interesting that he goes into that, because again, it kind of does go back to the things that he probably will use as an argument, but this stuff is important.
Right.
It says, if the value was in your wallet, the value would double when you copied your wallet. It doesn't. If the value was in the blockchain, the value would double when the blockchain was copied. It doesn't. The value is a shared fiction, subjective and volatile, subject to whim and fancy, yet worth billions. You don't use the blockchain, you run it. It's software. In the blockchain, you're not a user, you're a publisher. Blockchain software is publishing software. Speech is speech. Code is speech. The blockchain is both speech and publishing software, and as such, should be doubly protected, like you would protect books and the pen. So, pretty eloquent. I mean, he great. Laid it out. It's just, I just like how he worded everything, and it goes back to, our freedom of speech and those type of things, where he's kind of turning it all back and saying, hey, these are constitutional rights. I'm not sure what the problem is here, but the way I see it, this is what's going on, and these are constitutional rights. I'm not sure why you have the right to infringe on any of our rights.
Yeah, that is the thing, is a lot of like just explaining the blockchain and what it actually is, and the concept of wallets, and how it's not so much a wallet as it is kind of more of a keychain to, what you have access to that's just on the blockchain,
Exactly.
I think people don't, I know most people don't understand that in this world yet. And, keep in mind, like, as much as everybody's going to, not really now, they'll move on to the next fun story like SBF, literally the week after the Richard Hart thing. But, a lot of people are going to continue to focus on, I totally just lost my train of thought. Now I'm stalling. Basically the logistics of this stuff and what he's actually talking about. And they don't understand how this stuff actually works is basically what I'm saying. And they're attacking the guy. They don't understand how this stuff works. They're not going to focus on the actual technology of it because they just don't understand it. So,
yeah, it's good. I mean, like I said, he's going to need to educate. I hope he is able to do some educating once they see how intelligent he is, and it's not just the lawyers, but we'll have to see how that goes.
I know what I was going to say is like everybody for a week was acting as if like it was just Hex, it was just PulseChain, it was just Richard Hart that's under this microscope. The whole industry's been under this microscope.
Yeah.
Like it's not just our ecosystem, and that misery loves company. I think it's a good thing to remember that like the SEC went down that list and basically named like all top 10 market cap tokens. Right. They're all securities, and now okay, Richard Hart's getting sued. It's not just this ecosystem. So.
Well, I don't know why they're picking on us. We're 201. I mean,
yeah, we're not even anywhere near up there. So yeah, keep us back at 201, please. So he also, we don't need to read it because it's even longer. And I think a lot of stuff we do talk about a lot, but he also had a really nice tweet with like 8 bullet points about Hex just in general, which I thought was really good stuff. So check that one out as well. But I agree with you that tweet right there. That's him kind of laying the basis for some of the themes he would talk about in against the SEC in court. So we'll see how it goes. But I do value that he's tweeting that stuff.
Yeah. No, I do too. And, Richard has always done a great job educating people. And now he may have to, switch tactics a little bit. We'll see him eventually. Maybe this is... he has always talked about Satoshi bowing out, but he kind of rags on him when he does that. That's why I thought, I don't think Richard will go away. I just think right now the circumstances are that he probably needs to, or has been advised to, as to just not say anything that would either incriminate him by accident or whatever it may be, and to just play it safe. So all good.